Welcome to Analytics Nexus 2019, the premier virtual event for analytics best practices. This presentation is titled Creating Marketing Value with Codeless AI, and will be presented by Brett House and Judah Phillips. This is just one webinar and a whole series of presentations you have access to beginning today. A few quick housekeeping items before I introduce this presentation. At any time, you can interact with these presenters or the other presenters with questions or comments on Slack. The Slack address for Analytics Nexus is analyticsnexus.slack.com, and you should have received an email invitation to join if you registered in advance. If you didn't receive that email, you can find an invitation link in the menu below. Once you log into our Slack, you can find the channel for Brett House or Judah Phillips to engage. Also, you can engage with us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is @analytics_nexus. And if you have any additional questions about Analytics Nexus or Claravine, who is producing this event, feel free to email us at info@claravine.com. This session will be presented by both Brett House and Judah Phillips. First, I'll introduce Brett. Brett House has over 15 years of product marketing and full funnel demand generation experience for companies across the MarTech, AdTech, media, and measurement space. House's expertise spans product marketing, demand generation, content strategy, and marketing analytics. Currently, House is the Vice President of Product Marketing and Demand Generation for Nielsen. Most recently, House launched the Nielsen Auto Cloud, a next-generation marketing and measurement platform that combines the power of the Nielsen Marketing Cloud with J.D. Power's world-class car buyer intelligence and insights. House launched the Nielsen Marketing Cloud and Nielsen DMP in the US, EU, and APAC markets. He established Nielsen among the top marketing cloud and data management platform vendors in the world in the Forrester DMP Wave and Gartner Magic Quadrant 2017. Additionally, House spearheaded the CTV, OTT, TV commercial strategy for Nielsen Marketing Cloud, which resulted in client wins including Sony Crackle, Freewheel Comcast, Fubo TV, and Brightline. He also launched Nielsen Artificial Intelligence, a self-learning marketing AI technology, recognized by R&D Magazine's R&D 100 Awards as one of the most technologically significant new products of 2017. And now to introduce Judah Phillips. Judah is an award-winning entrepreneur, consultant, and author. He's the co-founder, president, and CTO of Squark. A Harvard Innovation Lab VIP, Judah has written 3 books on analytics. Phillips is an adjunct professor at Babson College and at Boston University. Judah is a founding member of the University of Massachusetts Advisory Council for the Humanities and Fine Arts, and he lives in Boston. Now, without further ado, I'll hand it over to them for their presentation.
Thank you. This is Judah Phillips. I'm the CTO and co-founder of Squark. We're an artificial intelligence company located in Boston, Massachusetts. And I'm here today with one of our customers, Brett House, who's the VP of Product Marketing and Demand Generation at Nielsen. And we'd like to talk to you today about an innovative topic, creating marketing value with codeless AI. One of the challenges with predictive analytics for marketers is that a marketer has to be responsive. They have to be proactive. They have to be able to make decisions about how to effectively spend their capital, the company's money, on campaigns, on advertising, on content, and on creative. And one of the best ways to be able to be proactive and make the right decisions in business is with prediction. But traditionally, prediction has been difficult. There's, in marketing, plenty of data. You can talk to any chief marketing officer, and they're going to let you know that they have plenty of data. I recently saw a marketing tech stack that had dozens and dozens, nearly 100 different technologies in it. And there is a ton of data, but there's really not enough insight. And as a result, it's really difficult for marketers from the executive team on down to take action on their marketing data. As a result, making business decisions is not easy for marketing. We all know the traditional adage that 50% of my marketing budget is wasted. I just don't know what 50%. And that's a result of really descriptive and reactive decisioning. One has to take a look at past data and make inferences from it, right? Manually, looking at what's happened in the past and reacting to it in order to try to make an informed decision about the future. And when you look at analytics teams and data science teams and corporate maturity around prediction, we find that most people are doing descriptive and diagnostic analysis. So this is some data from Gartner. If we look at the lower left corner, we see that 74% of companies are doing what you probably do. Time series analysis, KPI identification, benchmarking, goal setting, data visualization. And you may be using that data to do diagnostic analysis, right? Seeing things that have occurred that have gone wrong and attempting to maybe create some alerts and manage by exception when things go wrong and diagnose and root cause using data. Moving from reactive with that raw descriptive data to intelligence with diagnosing data. More capable companies are doing prediction. We've all seen a lot of hype on social networks like LinkedIn within the marketing industry about prediction. The reality is, according to Gartner, less than 1 in 10 companies, or around 1 in 10 companies, are doing prediction. And even fewer are doing prescription, meaning taking the next best action or taking a predictive decision, the best predictive decision out of a set of predictions. So the capability to move from being reactive to proactive is something that isn't really occurring as frequently as we might think, and certainly within the marketing industry, maybe moving at even a slower pace. And when we dig deeper into what marketing analysts are doing, they're spending a lot of time preparing data, not necessarily doing analysis. We see that this varies across industries. Some industries are doing a little bit more analysis, 40% of the time, to some industries that are doing a lot less, 20% of the time. Again, a ton of time spent on data preparation. And obviously this makes it difficult for marketing teams to be responsive, to be reactive. They're not even getting to the point they're able to do prediction and be proactive. And traditional tools don't really allow us to solve for these challenges. They are part of really the challenge, right? They provide that data that we report and we sort and we filter and we use either or and other types of Boolean logic and simple segmentation to make sense of our marketing data in order to inform our marketing performance in the future. It's not necessary anymore. It's not practical. And what it's not is it's not predictive. It doesn't really help marketers make the proactive decisions they need to manage their media, their campaigns, their creative and their content and their communities more effectively. Same thing with BI, stats and charts and data visualization. Awesome to be able to tell a story with data and to use different charts and graphs from histograms to Sankey diagrams to radar plots to scatter plots and all the other cool data visualizations and infographics that we see in marketing. But again, data visualization isn't going to solve the challenge of being responsive in marketing. It's not always practical to do a ton of beautiful data visualizations to make a decision that you need to make today in order to inform and save money or make money tomorrow. And again, it's not predictive. Sure, you can have some predictions in data visualizations and BI stats and charts, but altogether, it's not predictive. Legacy tools don't predict. What we're looking at is some churn data. This is customer data. And we see a customer record. The first row is a customer ID that begins with 7590. And we see that that customer is a female. They're not a senior citizen. They purchased a product from a partner. They don't have dependents. Perhaps this is how many months this person has been a customer, whether they've bought phone service, perhaps this is telecom data. Well, this churn data is just data. It's not telling you much other than describing your customer. A marketer would love to be able to know which of these customers is likely to stop being a customer so that they can make a decision about how to handle that customer, to be proactive, to keep them as a customer. And artificial intelligence can help you do this as a marketer. As a marketer, you can use your existing marketing data to create value with it to make proactive decisions. Artificial intelligence helps you predict from the simple set of 6 different attributes about your customer, which of those predicts. And now think of all that marketing data that our CMOs are telling us they have and they're not getting insight from. Think of that marketing stack I mentioned with more than 100 different tools in it, or the dozens that you use, or even the couple of core technologies, Salesforce, the Pardot, the Adobe, the Google data that you have, regardless of all the different cloud providers you have in the MarTech landscape. Well, artificial intelligence can help you take all of that data and make intelligent predictions. But traditionally, to do that, AI has been out of reach. It requires expensive software. It requires expensive resources to support and maintain the software. It requires data scientists. Requires projects that are cross-functional, across different teams and potentially lines of businesses. Requires a lot of cross-functional coordination, especially in highly distributed matrix companies. And that's traditionally led to long lead times to deploy capabilities for marketing around prediction. It's made AI out of reach for the marketer. Until now, Squark is the solution. We created Squark to change predictive analytics forever. Squark is for marketers who want to create the best possible predictions for their business questions around media, campaigns, creative content in their communities, as well as conversion. All you need to do is log in, upload your data, click a few times to get the best possible AI-based predictions. Squark is AI predictive power with spreadsheet ease. And I invited Brett House, the VP of Product Marketing and Demand Generation at Nielsen, who's a customer, to let you know how his team is leveraging Squark to create marketing value with our Codeless AI system.
Thank you, Judah. To quickly introduce myself, as Judah had mentioned, I run product marketing and SaaS demand generation for the Nielsen DMP and the Nielsen Marketing Cloud. I've done this for the last few years. And what we're looking at here on this particular slide to give you a specific use case on how we're using Squark and predictive AI to better our ability to effectively generate revenue for our sales organization. And this slide sort of sets the context for that. We're looking at a B2B marketing demand funnel, right? From inquiry, which is sort of initial conversion, all the way through closed deals. We really needed to understand, as a marketing organization, how to better predict what drives prospects and new audiences through the demand funnel, right? What brings people from an initial inquiry to the Nielsen Marketing Cloud or the Nielsen DMP to actually being accepted as a sales lead and closed as a deal, which then we can attribute back to our own activities. It really comes down to 3 core criteria, which very simply put are understanding how we can predict who is most likely to become a sales qualified lead and a revenue point for the Nielsen Marketing Cloud, which comes down to personas, the target audience. Who are we targeting? What is their title? What is the industry vertical that they're a part of? What is their function within their company? And which one of those attributes is most predictive of someone purchasing one of our products? Number 2 is really what kind of content are they engaging with from a B2B marketing perspective? And we develop content that runs the gamut from webinars to owned events to reports and white papers
to bylines and videos, to podcasts. And we're tracking every touch point across what you see as number 3, where these particular personas are interacting and engaging with our brand and with our product. And that's really the channels of engagement. Media channels like pay-per-click advertising or display advertising, owned channels like Nielsen.com, product pages and solutions pages for our various products, social media, which could be earned content. And we're tracking each one of these engagements through each one of these 3 criteria to really understand who is most likely going to purchase a product from us and who's exhibiting purchase intent. And what Squark has really allowed us to do is to be more predictive of that flow from the top of the funnel when someone downloads a white paper or RSVPs to a webinar or commits an initial action, all the way through the qualification phases, which you see in the middle of the funnel, which are marketing qualified and sales qualified. Marketing qualified we define as someone that fits 2 key metrics. One is an engagement metric, meaning how often have they engaged with us and where are they engaging with us. So it's really number 2 and number 3, the what and the where. Whereas the fit metric, which is another way that we help predict purchase intent, is really number 1, the who. Who is this person? What is their title? What is their function? And how does that help influence the purchase decision and the path to purchase, all the way down to the bottom of the funnel. At the end of the day, the whole purpose of this is to increase the size of the sales pipeline from a B2B marketing perspective. And it's very reminiscent of what you see in B2C marketing as well. We look at every stage in that pipeline and of that demand funnel. Our fundamental goal is really to build out the pipeline across all of those stages. Because at the end of the day, sales is a numbers game, and you want to ensure that you've got enough people at the top of the funnel to feed those lower portions of the funnel and to be able to better cater to people's needs as they interact with our brand. So when they're coming to our product pages, when they're coming to our events, when they're engaging in our content, we want to have a better understanding of where they are in the purchase cycle. Are they in the process of putting an RFP forth to other vendors? Can we get ahead of that curve so that we're able to get in front of them before they release an RFP to the general public? And Squark is really what's allowing us to be more predictive, using a lot of data from a lot of disparate systems to help enable us to understand who they are, what they like to see from a content perspective, and where they like to engage with us as a brand and as a product. And that helps us to optimize our media plan, optimize our media kind of cross-channel strategy, whether it's pay-per-click or it's owned email or it's what we're doing on Nielsen.com, and optimize our audience segmentation so that we're more effectively targeting the right people with the right content at the right time. And all of that, just like with B2C marketing, creates a better customer experience and enables us to more effectively and more inexpensively, most importantly, move people through that demand funnel, closer to that final closed deal. And AI is what really makes it faster, it makes it more accurate, and it helps us optimize our programs more effectively. And without that, and believe me, I've worked in these circumstances without AI in the past, it's a much more manual, much slower process. And your predictive capabilities are really diminished considering the amount of data, the amount of media inputs that we see out there. It's very difficult without putting a finger in the wind to be able to really predict what's going to be most effective in driving ROI for your marketing organization. So that brings me to this, is we've implemented some of these predictive capabilities to give us a baseline from which to develop our personas, our content, and our channel strategy. Now we really need to prove the impact of this, to measure the ROI and connect the dots between the media touch points, right? The engagement and the conversion touch points that we're experiencing by distributing content across various channels to our actual marketing KPIs, which, as you saw in the funnel in the earlier slide, is connected to sales accepted leads at the end of the funnel, which are then at a certain percentage closed deals in one revenue. And there's a wall. There's a reason why this slide has a wall in the background. There's a wall between these two things. It's very easy to track to the point of conversion. You know, when someone fills out a form, someone downloads something, someone attends an event, but to connect that to what's going on in your CRM, and in our case, we use Salesforce as a CRM. What's going on in your marketing automation platform, we use Pardot, is another challenge altogether. So you really need a system that's capable of integrating these various data sets in disparate platforms so that you can look at it holistically and be able to connect the dots between everything that you're doing on the media and content side to everything that's actually, to how those things are impacting your most important KPIs that you're going to present to the executive leadership. This sort of summarizes it best. It's how do we attribute credit to the right channels and connect sales wins or conversions to tactics in a way that's faster, that's more responsive, and that's more intelligent than anything that a small team would be able to do on its own. Even a large team with a large group of data scientists, which most marketing organizations don't have the privilege of an army of data scientists, can't really do things as fast as you need to be able to do them, to adjust creative, to adjust workflows in terms of the type of content we deliver and when we deliver it based on consumers or customers' past behavior and current behavior. All of those things need quick responsiveness, and AI is what helps us get to that point. So most importantly, Squark has really allowed us to quantify the marketing life cycle. And what I've depicted here, using the demand funnel that I presented in earlier slides, is some of the inputs, some of the data inputs that are going into this decisioning engine, like marketing conversion rates, sales accepted rates, win rates, or average deal size. All of these things are helping this AI engine to be more predictive of sales and revenue and our core KPIs as a marketing organization. And the results have been phenomenal. And I attribute this to really the ability to automate a lot of the optimization that we need from both a personas perspective, who we're targeting, a content perspective, what we're targeting them with, and a channels perspective. What type of media, paid, owned, or earned, are we using to engage with these consumers? And by automating some of the decisioning around those three criteria, we're better as an organization, as a marketing organization, better predict marketing qualified leads to sales qualified leads, meaning that conversion point between the two. Which of our marketing qualified leads are converting into the sales qualified category, and why and how, and based on those three criteria. Which sales qualified leads are actually being accepted by the sales organization and followed up on and scheduled meetings with. And finally, the ability to predict revenue, which serves obviously a few purposes. Mainly, our ability to forecast what we're doing and the business results we're, as a marketing organization, able to drive, which gives us buy-in with the sales organization. It gives us better integration with the sales organization for bringing these programs to life and closing the leads that we're generating. Because without that, the system falls down, so to speak, from a B2B marketing perspective. And finally, driving return on investment. So we look at every dollar we spend across our paid media, across our content creation, et cetera. And we've seen, since implementing Squark, an 8x increase in our return on investment. So that ability to really be able to tell compelling and true story as to how your marketing investment and time is generating pipeline and revenue is essential for demand generation. And that's exactly what we're able to do more effectively with AI powering a lot of our decision making.
So thank you, Brett. Really appreciate you taking the time today to share your successes with your marketing, the successes we've shared together working with Squark. So Squark enables marketers to learn, model, and predict. There are a number of use cases that Squark's applicable to in marketing, including lead conversion, customer churn, ad performance, campaign optimization, media mix, and even sales forecasting. These are just a few. Squark's only limited by the data that you bring to it and the business questions that you ask. And right now, Analytics Nexus viewers, go to squarkai.com/free-trial and try Squark for free for the next 2 weeks. We will blow your mind, not your budget. You'll be pleasantly surprised at how low cost, low risk, and quick to action Squark is. I want to thank Brett, Nielsen, Matt, and his marketing team, as well as Verl and Craig at Claravine for allowing us to present today. And we look forward to seeing you in the future. Thanks.
I want to thank both Judah and Brett for this presentation. I thought it was really interesting. And I want to also remind our guests that you can engage with both of these presenters with questions or comments on their Slack channels in the Analytics Nexus Slack workspace. Thank you.